Hello, this is Boris Zhukov, and you're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is Kroll, and you're listening to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling with Jimmy Street and Jared the Plastic Sheik. Be sure to like, subscribe, and view all of our USWO and Saw Wrestling content at Nashville Wrestling Network, exclusively on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
For those who don't know, now you know, baby. This is Hot Rod Biggs, Jared, Jimmy Street. We're going to take them to the limit one more time, baby, right here on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling podcast. And I'm here as always with my brother from the same father and mother, the Plastic Sheik, Jared Street. What's up, Sheik? How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
Good, good. Man, just in it to win it, brother. You know, I guess trying to win it.
Hey, you can't win it without trying.
That's right. Well, we got a great show today. Boris Zhukov is on the show. Are you excited about that one?
Yeah, man. Anybody that's got a AWA Remco figure of themselves, made of themselves, is going to be a great interview for me. I'll get asked that question down the road, so stay tuned for that.
For sure. Let me just give you a little rundown about how hard it was to get Mr. Boris. So just at the same time that we were about to record with him, our recording software, which we called Skype, you might call it Skype as well, decided that it no longer existed. Literally, Skype has gone away now. So we had to figure out an alternative method. But the problem is I didn't know that Skype fully went kaput until the time that we were going to record with Boris.
Right. Like the day, hour zero, basically.
Yeah, hour zero. So anyway, Boris was an absolute trooper about it, but it took us some time to get everything figured out the right way. So we had Drew Haskins on, we had Gary Hart's son, Jason Williams on, and now we have the man, Boris, today. So I'm very excited about that. And I've spoken to him before. I've actually known him for a little while, and great guy. And I'm excited for y'all to get to know him too. So,
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the interview. I know it's going to be a great one. Boris has been everywhere, wrestled everybody.
Another incredible show was last episode with Jason Williams, Gary Hart's son. Man, I've had so many people tell me how much they enjoyed that episode. So that feels really good. It was a labor of love for me. As you know, all these shows are basically a labor of love for me. But when it comes down to it, you know, man, that show really paid off in the stories.
Yeah. And complete honesty, when you're interviewing not the person, sometimes I unexpectedly don't know what we're getting, you're always worried, like, how good is this going to be? How much can you get out of a person like this? But he was such a great storyteller, had great recall, had stories without us asking sometimes. So anytime you get that, it's a great interview.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Hope to have Jason on in the future again. I mean, as I was editing and interviewing and all that with Jason, I had 30 more questions pop up in my head, Right. So anyway, but yeah, thank you, Jason. Also, heard great things about the Right Way reunion. There, and our buddies in Columbia had their Right Way reunion that we were lucky to be a part of last year. Hearing great things, great reports. Congrats to our co-host with the Mo-host, Quinton Quarisma, for winning an award. Dante won an award. I mean, it was just really cool to, we missed out. I was having FOMO pretty seriously, but when it comes down to it, I'm glad to see that they all had a good time and got to get together with each other. And
Yeah, I had fear of missing out on that banana pudding. So,
yeah. Well, kind of a weird pivot here. I don't want to do anything too quirky out of respect, but we did lose Sabu recently. Sabu was one of the most legendary suicidal, homicidal, whatever wrestlers. Of course, the nephew of the legendary Sheik, and yeah, man, not my son Cash, but the you know what I mean. But
yeah, no, it was, and it's such wild timing you get with things. Sometimes I've noticed them before, but that Dark Side of the Ring on the Sheik was out like that very next, couple days.
Yeah. Odd timing.
It's odd timing. How stuff like that can happen.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. But you rest in peace to you, Sabu. I know you probably had a little bit of a tough time there in your later years because of your style of wrestling, but I will say that I don't think I was ever not entertained by a Sabu match. I'll say that. So
now, if you weren't entertained by a Sabu match, you weren't watching. So
exactly. Well, Sheik, you got anything else before we go get Boris?
No, I'm ready for it.
Well, all right. We will be right back with Boris Zhukov on Gimme Back My Pro Wrestling. Hey, Sheik, go get Quinton.
I'm on it.
This is Steve Bowtie Bryant here. Back in the 90s, I was a pro wrestling photographer for the South, and I released what might have been one of the original sets of indie trading cards. I ran across some of these original sets. They were up in Randall Fanning's attic all this time. PG-13 rookie card, Ricky Morton, George Weingroff as the Sheik, Chris Champion, Reno Riggins, Billy Montana, Gary Valiant, the Scorpion, the Medic, Rick Reynolds, Jeff Daniels, Mephisto and Dante, Ben Jordan, Steve Neely, Marcus Woodrow, Quinton Quarisma, Little Farmer John. If you'd like an opportunity to get these cards, contact me now. You can get them for only $49.99. Contact me at stevebowtiebryant at iCloud.com. Get your set now while supplies last.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
All right, we are back with what I would consider a very, very incredibly special guest today. We've got him on loan from the KGB, and even though we know that American and Russian issues are sometimes good, sometimes bad, but every time we talk to this guy, it's the best. Boris Zhukov, welcome to the show, brother.
Hello, glad to be here.
Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Yeah. Boris, where did you get that accent from, man? Tell me a little bit about that. I know it's a little bit of Ivan, maybe a little bit of Markov in it, but where did you come up with your accent?
That's all because of Ivan Koloff. I went to the Ivan Koloff School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
I learned how to do that when Ivan came to the Charlotte territory back in the 70s and stuff. He was one of my favorite, and I learned how to do it way back then.
Yeah. It's an excellent one. Let's just say that. So, but Boris, I got to meet you back in the day from my mentor, Kenny Still, who brought me in the business. And I know Kenny meant a lot to you, and we'll talk about Kenny in just a little bit.
Absolutely. Great guy. A great guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very much missed.
Oh man, every day I miss him. I think about so many questions and stuff. I mean, he might be part of this podcast if he were. It might be a 4-man show if that were the case. But it was a pleasure to get to meet you and get to know you. And Kenny always spoke so highly of you. So yeah. But we are so appreciative of you coming on the show with us today. Honestly, our show is Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, and you are pretty much the picture image of giving me back my pro wrestling. So in order to start this show, though, we always have to kick it over to my brother, as we call him, the Sheik. Take it away, Sheik.
All right, Boris. So this is just going to let the people listening get to know you, let us get to know you about influences of who you like to work with in the business. If you had 4 or 5 people in the wrestling business that you consider like a Mount Rushmore, who would those names be?
Number one babyface for me was Ricky Steamboat. Sergeant Slaughter, because I love working with Sarge. Brad Armstrong was another great babyface. I loved Rick Martel, Tito Santana. And I mean, just those are the first ones I think of right off the bat. So, because they were just great workers. Yes. Because I got to do a little program with Rick Martel up in the AWA and stuff, and Rick was a lot of fun too. So,
man, so underrated, you know.
And not enough people get to see his stuff these days. I don't feel like, even as widespread as you can watch anything from yesteryear, but he's just not. I don't see him enough on these kind of lists either. And he was such a good worker all those days. Yeah.
And as far single matches or tag team was my favorite, and of course watching them too and stuff was Jack and Jerry Briscoe, because they were unbelievable wrestlers. Jack was just phenomenal, man. The tendon strength Jack had was just unbelievable. And they could go all night and never get tired. So that was always a challenge when you work with them. So
you're like, slow it down.
Come on, boys.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. They were phenomenal. Yeah,
that's a great list. And Ricky Steamboat, in my opinion, Ricky Steamboat is maybe the best baby face of all time. It's hard to argue.
By far. And Ricky was another guy. He never blew up, never got tired. He hardly sweat. He could just go all night. I mean, he could do an hour Broadway every night at the drop of a hat and not think twice about it. So you'd be glad, and for me, I'd be glad when it was over.
I can breathe.
I can breathe. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is a great list. And I like talking about other guys, but I want to take it all the way back to you, Boris, because this is your show. Obviously, we know you're a Virginia boy. We're Virginia boys. We love that. But tell us about your younger days. Like, where were you born? And when did you kind of start getting the bug to liking wrestling?
Oh, well, I was born in Roanoke, Virginia, but I got into wrestling in like in the early 70s. I was in intermediate junior high school and stuff. I fell in love with wrestling, started getting to go to the matches at Starland Arena in Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah.
So, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, and she got to see greats, Johnny Valentine and Super Destroyer, who was Don Jardine, the spoiler. He was Super Destroyer in the Carolinas. And Ole and Gene Anderson, Johnny Weaver, and Sandy Scott and Paul Jones and Wahoo. So it was a fantastic territory. And
how could you not be
that's when I fell. I really fell in love with it then.
Yeah,
was doing those days.
Yeah. How could you not love wrestling during that time, man? Right. It was the pure wrestling era. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got to watch it. The crowd explosion, from Starland, and then more regular at the Salem Civic Center, and then the Roanoke Civic Center. So that was great to see that.
Yeah, no doubt. When did is that still around? It's not, is it? The Starland?
No. It's that's been long gone and stuff and everything. So, but. Because eventually turned Peter Postley, the promoter, turned it into Starland Bingo and stuff and everything. Because the crowds just exploded so much. They, like I said, it was either Salem Civic Center, and then they just started regularly booking at the Roanoke Civic Center because of the crowds was so big.
Gotcha. So, okay, the crowds deemed a larger building. That makes sense. Okay,
definitely did. Yeah, they just outgrew Starland Arena, but back in the days when I started going, it was every Saturday night with Starland. Every Saturday.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And the great thing about them days is the only time they had the Mid Atlantic was on at one in the afternoon from 1 to 2, and they do the interviews for the matches that night and stuff because it was weekly matches, And then a little later, they started having worldwide. It came on like at 11:15 at Saturday night from out of Lynchburg. But that was the only time you could see wrestling was on Saturdays, and then you'd have to wait an entire week to see it again until later on when because even on TBS cable when it got started, it was on Saturdays too. So but back in them days, when it was just Starland Arena, wrestling went on 5-6 nights a week. You'd have to wait till every Saturday at 1 o'clock, and that was just that was a total different day back then. God, they could have a match, your main event, go off the air at the end of one Saturday, and you wouldn't find out who won the match until the next Saturday. So you have to wait the whole week to find out who the winner was. So
but I mean, those days were the best. Think of I wish I could just have a Saturday of wrestling in the 80s and 70s, man. Can you imagine?
Right.
Just a great wrestling. Oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cause it was just the weekly, you just had your regular, channels anyway. You had channel, here in Roanoke, you had channel 7, with CBS, and, NBC was channel 10, and then 13 was, ABC. And that's all the channels you had all week, So that was a total different day.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. I got a question. So when you first started, so who trained you, and how did you find the trainer, and how did all that come about to go get the training to get started?
Oh, well, I had a friend that I went to church with in Roanoke that knew Ric McCord, because Ric McCord worked in a body shop. It was either in Roanoke or in Salem and stuff. And he introduced me to Rick, and then Rick brought me down to the Roanoke City Market. They had a gym down there. A wrestling ring down there at the Roanoke City Market in Roanoke. This is back in way back in 1978. I started training. I got breaking in May of '78, just a little less than a year after I graduated high school in June of '77. So and then I got introduced to Eclipso, who's from Salem, and then it was Don Hogan and Steve Savage, and a couple other guys, and they got me started training there. But it was right there at the old Roanoke City Market there in Roanoke. They had a big hard, and it was a hard wrestling ring too. I mean, that wasn't a fun ring to learn to take bumps in. It was more like a boxing ring. They had a boxing promoter. Can't remember his last name. His first name was Rocky, and he had boxing there and stuff. And he let us go there and train one night a week for the wrestling and stuff.
That's awesome. That's very cool. Yeah.
So tell us about your first match and who it was with and everything like that, and also tell us the origins of the Jim Nelson name.
Okay. Well, that's when I got started. My first name is James anyway, so I just went Jim, and I liked Art Nelson was one of my favorites back in the day from the old Mid-Atlantic wrestling. So I took up the name Jim Nelson, and my first match was around June of '78. So like a year out of high school, I was having my first wrestling match. It was up. Sure. I'm trying to think. It was here in Virginia and stuff. I wrestled Chief Grey Wolf. So it was an outside show.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Old Eclipso. We've been meaning to have him on the podcast. Sometime soon we'll have him on. I think he's been having some health issues, but anyway, Eclipso, man, I knew him through Kenny as well. But yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he helped him and McCord and Steve Savage trained me. So.
And Clip's an excellent heel. He is a quintessential.
Oh yeah,
heel, man.
Oh yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah. And old school from back in that day and stuff and everything, So
yeah. He looked like Jimmy Garvin a little bit, in pictures.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. So in 1979, you went and worked down for Georgia Championship Wrestling. How'd you get those bookings? And how was it working for Ole Anderson at such a young age?
Well, I met a referee, Mike, had refereed for us and stuff and everything. Met him, and he had a contact number for Ole, and I just give Ole a call and stuff and everything, and he told me to come down to TBS there in Atlanta and stuff and everything. I knew he was going to test me pretty tough, because I knew the way that was going to be and stuff. And I already knew that when I got, he was going to, and he basically said that on the phone pretty much. He was going to get ready to get beat up really good and stuff, So. Because I already knew that they was going to call everything in the ring. They didn't tell me anything before we went in the ring. They called everything in the ring, and I just I went and did everything they wanted to do to the best of my ability. And it was funny. I got back to the dressing room. Ole says, "Well, consider yourself lucky, kid. You're still breathing." So
there you go.
Yeah. I was tagged up with Mike Stallings against him, and my favorite there. Ivan Koloff. So, the TV match there, Ivan and Ole against me and Mike Stallings. So, that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
And then we went down to Columbus, Georgia in the afternoon, because they did their afternoon TV down there in Columbus, Georgia, and then at night you either went to Griffin, Georgia, or it was another place outside of Atlanta there had a house show and stuff. And we'd worked that on Saturday night and stuff, and then got done there and came back to Atlanta and spent the night, and then came back home on Sunday. So,
so those were the Fred Ward shows, right?
Yeah, Fred Ward. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was it working for Fred?
Oh, he was okay. Yeah, he was good. Yeah, he was definitely old school and everything, and it was a neat arena that they had the TV, and it was almost a lot like what Starland Arena was.
Oh,
they had a building like that, and they did their TV in a building like that and stuff, and it was a great atmosphere.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So also in 1980. You went and worked for Crockett's Mid-Atlantic. How did you get those bookings?
Ole, I'd been in Georgia there for a while and stuff, and I talked to Ole. I said about a chance I might be able to get some shots because I've been working there for a while and stuff off and on, night shows during the week and stuff, which is nice because Atlanta's a short trip territory anyway. A lot of the trips are right there within 200 miles of Atlanta. So, but he called George Scott up in Charlotte and got me a good 10-day run up there for them to take a look at me, and I gave it everything I had and stuff. And then when a regular opening came up, they needed somebody that they could bring me in because I told them I wanted regular bookings, and an opening came up, and 2 months later, in the fall of 1980, I went to Charlotte to work for them.
Yeah. And they actually, on Halloween of 81 on Mid-Atlantic TV, Slaughter Sarge introduced you as his new protege. So whose idea was the Private Nelson gimmick? Was that his?
Sarge and Ole. And Ole.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think Sarge went to Ole about that, and then they talked about it, and they got it all worked up and everything. So,
that's cool.
That was a big thing that Sarge set up.
Man, that was awesome. Yeah,
because that really helped him, get him over and get him heat and all that stuff and everything. That was just unbelievable gimmick. I think it really went over well and stuff.
Yeah, we're big Sarge fans on the show here, so for sure, in 5 months of you being at Mid-Atlantic, you and Don Kernodle beat Iceman, King Parsons, and Pork Chop Cash for the Mid-Atlantic tag team titles, and you actually held them twice in the 5 months. How did it feel to kind of get that big push, man?
Man, that was just great. That was unbelievable and stuff. But man, I just had such great talent around me and stuff. With Don and Don having a great experience that he did, and then Iceman had good experience, but Pork Chop Cash too. He'd been around for years and stuff. So the more you're around guys that have tons of experience and stuff, the more it helps you. I mean, it spreads out good to everybody. So
definitely.
Anytime I got to work with Johnny Weaver was just unbelievable because he was just so experienced and had such great ring psychology and stuff. It was just incredible to be in the ring with guys like that with the years of experience. Because man, them guys were in the ring every night of the week, year after year.
Yeah,
I mean 300 some days a year they're in the ring. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you learn something like that. I don't think the kids today could do something like that now.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they was told they had to start working 5-6 nights a week, maybe 7, twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday in the summer. They wouldn't make it.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, in a year, basically, so late February of '83, you end up turning babyface to go against Sarge and Kernodle. Right. How did you like working babyface and working with Slaughter and Kernodle, especially in the other side and those boot camp matches you had with them and all that?
That was great because, like I said, with the experience that Don and Sarge had stuff, and the program. I mean, the story that we'd put together and stuff, me turning to help Youngblood and Steamboat win the tag belts and everything and stuff. It was just a great storyline and. Like I said, them two guys so polished and so experienced and stuff. It was like, man, getting the ring. I mean, the matches were so easy. It was like taking candy from a baby, Yeah. So
yeah,
it was just incredible. So
no doubt.
So that was so much fun. Man, goodness gracious, just great.
I mean, you must have been pinching yourself because that was your home territory, and you grew up.
Yeah. I grew up with that. Yeah, because like I said, I grew up watching Ole and Gene, and I got to work a lot with Gene Anderson when I turned babyface and stuff, and then Paul Jones and Wahoo when I was a heel and everything and stuff, So that was I pinched myself every day when I was in that territory.
No doubt.
Yeah, and then get to go to some of these towns and stuff, Norfolk and Richmond and all that down to Savannah, Georgia, and Charleston, over the Carolinas. The big Greensboro Coliseum. That was just man, that was breathtaking.
The Dorton Arena. Arena.
Yeah, that was Dorton was in that was in Raleigh. The Dorton Arena.
What a great.
Then that's when their big TV got started, before they moved to Charlotte. I got to work when I first went to Charlotte for a while. I got to work pretty much that first year at WRAL there in Raleigh.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
That's the station I watched all them years when I was a kid, so that was pretty great.
So, no doubt.
Yeah.
So after this, Boris, you leave Crockett there, and then in about May of '83, you come to Mid-South.
Right.
Bill Watts, and now you're Boris Zhukov here.
Or Zhukov, technically.
Or Zhukov, yeah.
That was wrong. Yeah, I had to keep correcting them on that. There was always supposed to have been Zhukov, but they kept messing up my name, so I'd have something to argue about, So
gotcha.
I was blame that knucklehead Ernie Ladd, He goes, Zhukov. I said, no, it's Ernie and Zhukov. I said, whatever,
So whose idea was it to make you like Russian in that?
Well, that was something I was wanting to do when I left there, and with Jake being in Charlotte at the time, he got a hold of his dad, Grizzly, down there in Mid-South, and Bill Watts knew me when he booked some there in Atlanta when I was working the Georgia territory down there, because I met Bill, so I had a opening and a chance to go there to Mid-South to get the gimmick started and stuff and everything. So that was a great good place to go work and learn it, because I had a lot of great talent there too and stuff to help teach me and stuff. Mr. Olympia Jerry Stubbs and Ted DiBiase. I mean, Magnum TA got kicked off good down there, wrestling too. Yeah. I mean, it was an unbelievable lineup down there of talent. JYD, goodness gracious, he was over like $1 million there. I got to meet. That's when I had met Hacksaw Duggan in Atlanta, so I knew Hacksaw. So, and he was over big time down there too and stuff. And Dr. Death, Steve Williams. So it was they had a great lineup there.
Some hard hitters, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Rip Rogers came in, so I got to meet Rip Rogers and stuff. So
the Hustler.
It was a ton of great talent there.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah. So it looks like while you were still working for Mid-South, you went and did some dates for World Class in August of that year. Did you have to get like approval through they got me booked to go over there and stuff with Von Erickson stuff, and got to go over there and work with Brody and stuff, and Bruiser Brody, my first match, and we went at it toe to toe, and Brody liked me, and that helped me out to get to work over there some more, So yeah, and I got to work with I got the honor and pleasure of working with all of Von Erichs over there. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
So
did.
So in September of '83, you left. You did your last TV for Mid-South. Why did you end up leaving there? Just better opportunities?
Well, Well, I talked to the Fullers and the Armstrongs down in Pensacola, that southeastern territory down there, and I wanted to head back east and go home for Christmas. So I finished up there in basically, I was pretty much after the Thanksgiving show. I finished up down there in Dallas, and then came home for Christmas and stuff, because New Year's Eve had to be in Dothan, Alabama. So down there, we did they had a New Year's Eve show down there in Dothan and stuff. So I had to start down there in Dothan, Alabama, at the Houston County Farm Center. So
there you go.
And that was a phenomenal place. That's the first time I got to meet Arn Anderson. So
that's cool. That's cool.
All right, well, let's backtrack just a little bit, because I want to talk about World Class. So you were there. So do you have any good Fritz stories or any stories about the boys that you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, like I said, I got to work with David, Kevin, and Kerry too, and I was trying to think at the youngest one. It was the next to the youngest one. I got
Chris.
I got the
Mike. Yeah.
Mike. Yeah, when he got started. So I got to work with all of them, and David was unbelievable worker. He was just phenomenal.
That's what everybody says.
Yeah.
He was the best.
So was he the best of the bunch? Yeah, that's Quinton.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Overall, I think he was the best talent of all of them.
Yeah,
by far.
Kerry had the look, but didn't all have it together totally with the promos and stuff. But David's fiery promos were better, and
and he was a phenomenal worker too.
Oh, for sure, so, no question. Yeah, that's no question. Yeah.
But but like I said, I always had fun working with Brody too. Because
oh man,
because Frank liked it snug and I liked it snug too, so we got along.
All right, so. You went down to Ron Fuller's Southeastern Territory. You said you went to Dothan. Were they still doing the TV studio in Dothan?
Sure did. He did Dothan TV. He did that earlier in the day and stuff, and they would air like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you'd have the interviews, for tonight and stuff. And that really helped the show because that was a weekly show too. So you did Dothan TV in the morning, and then it'd air in the afternoon, and then you'd have Dothan that night, and then Sunday, sometimes you'd do Montgomery in the afternoon, and then Sunday night every week was always Pensacola. So, and then Monday night you'd be back in Birmingham. Tuesday be Mobile. Wednesday, since back during that time, Wednesday was a big church night. They didn't run nothing on Wednesdays, and they do either Montgomery on Thursday sometimes, or it'd be a spot show somewhere, and then another spot show back over toward Dothan area on Friday, or Panama City, somewhere like that, and then you'd be back at Dothan TV on Saturday morning. So that was a great territory, and you just did the same towns pretty much every week. It was weekly towns.
So going basically from Watts, then a year later doing Fuller's, the travel was like night and day, wasn't it? The towns being so much closer, I bet that was so much better than
because Mid-South was so wide, it was so spread, with Louisiana and Arkansas and Mississippi, and it was just the miles, it was 3,500, 4,000 miles a week, easy, in Mid-South. And in fact, sometimes it seemed like the miles were worse there than it was in Charlotte, and Charlotte was bad enough to begin with. So
still is.
I always said the guys love working for Fuller because the territory was full-time territory, but you could be at home every night if you wanted to.
Right. Yeah, you could be. You could pretty much be home every night, and being there at Pensacola and Gulf Breeze, during the summer, you could go work out in the morning, go head to the beach for a couple hours, get some sun, go home, shower, get cleaned up, get in the car, and make your town. So
ain't beat that.
No, you couldn't. No, like I said, if you did Mobile, if you lived in Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, that's only like 50, 60 miles. So you go do Mobile, awesome. And then Wednesday you was off. Every Wednesday it was an off day. So
that's awesome.
You spend all day on the beach. So
So during this time, you mentioned Arn Anderson. Do you have any good Arn Anderson stories from that time period?
My spot.
And I like to call him Pensacola Arn during this time.
Oh yeah, because he was big in that territory. He really, that's where he really blossomed. That's where he developed his gimmick and stuff, working in his interviews. And I knew when I first met him, he was going to be one of the best ever. And because he just had it. I mean, he was a natural. Interviews and just a great worker, a great heel, and he was fun to work out with in the gym and stuff and everything. And he could go. Arn could go. So
no doubt.
Yeah. I remember one night he got hurt. Well, I think it was in Dothan, and man had to get him back. He couldn't hardly move his neck. He did something to his neck, and which really had me worried. We had to contact his chiropractor. He had a guy who was going to see there in Gulf Breeze, and we had to drive him right to the chiropractor at night to get his neck adjusted. He couldn't hardly move. I don't know what he did, but it was that was pretty scary. And I always worried about him back then, and that's what ended up ending his career was his neck, the disc and all that stuff. He'd gotten an injury there, and it just he would re-injure it, and it just stuck with him. So, injuries like that never go away. So it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So in August 13th, 1984, I see where it says you beat Ric McCord for the Alabama title. And then it says, I read it. It looked like you only held it a month. So do you know why the run was so short with the belt?
Well, the belt? I was going to be working me down. I was going to be working things out to leave and stuff. So I ended up doing a program with Austin Idol and lost the belt to him, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So in November of 84, it says you worked a few shows for the Jarretts as Jason. Is that true?
Yeah. They had me come up there and do that because I was going to be under a mask and everything and stuff, So that would protect my Boris Zhukov thing and stuff. But that was something Lawler wanted to do.
He loves those monsters.
Yeah. He loves stuff like that. So I didn't mind doing it. I didn't mind doing it for him because I was going to be under a hood, So pretty much. So yeah.
That's cool.
That was going to be a short-term thing, but man, that's what you did back in them days and stuff. When you had when you worked and stuff, man, you just you took your bookings that you had and stuff, and if back then, if somebody was going to be finishing up with you, they'd always give you a heads up, so you could. There was so many other territories you could call and go get work, and sadly, all that got killed when Vince took over everything and stuff. We couldn't call ahead. I mean, they had some promoters just had shows in different states off of TV or something like that, and then. But I wanted to get myself worked around so I could get a chance to go to the AWA, because I knew if I could get to the AWA and stuff, eventually I might get a chance to go work for, of course, the WWF. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then December of '84, you did a few shows for Georgia Championship Wrestling. This was after Memphis. And then in January of '85, you end up in Championship Wrestling from Florida. So after a few days there, Eddie Graham dies. So you left not long after that. What was it like around that territory about that massive change and his death?
Oh yeah, that was pretty rough and stuff, because that was unexpected. Something like that is unexpected and out of the blue and stuff and everything. But I just kept looking ahead, because I tell you, as much as we had to work back in them days, because I stayed in the gym a lot. Your main goal was to stay healthy and stay booked and be able to work every day. Yeah. Because if you got hurt, you didn't get paid. You only got paid when you got in the ring. There was no contracts. There was no guaranteed money. So your biggest goal was to get booked, stay booked, and stay healthy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's that was your main goal and stuff and everything. Because of if people don't see you somewhere, they don't know you, don't know who you are and stuff, and you want to keep that money coming in. And the only way to do it back then was to be in that ring as much as you could every night during the week.
Yeah.
Because back then, pretty much everybody you got you got paid weekly, so that was nice. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, Boris, you mentioned it earlier. You wanted to you kind of wanted to make your way to the AWA. Well, in July of '85, you show up in Vern's AWA. How did that job come about? Just networking?
Sergeant Slaughter got me in up there. Yeah, Sarge got me up there and stuff, with Greg and Vern and everything. So I got to go in and get started up there, and got to work a program with him. And then later on, I got to work into the program with Rick Martel, and doing it along the time too. I got to work a lot with Nick Bockwinkel, which was great.
Oh man!
So yeah, he was phenomenal.
One of the goats.
Great.
Yeah.
He was just he was another great a guy that was in great shape and had great ring psychology and all that. I learned a lot from Nick Bockwinkel. Without a doubt.
How long did it take him to break a sweat?
Yeah, it took a while. Yeah. Nick could go. No, Nick could go. So he was in great shape. Nick Bockwinkel sure was. Yeah. I'll tell you, two guys I never got to see work, and it's been one of the best matches probably in wrestling history. It'd been him and Harley Race.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that'd have been a match.
Yeah,
I really love to have seen a match like that. So
no doubt.
Yeah.
So how was working with Sheik Adnan? How was he? How was working with him?
Good grief! It got scary because Nick, he had so much heat. Adnan had so much heat up there. He'd gone through that thing with Jerry Briscoe, and Tim Patera and all that stuff and everything. But because I got to work with Jerry. Jerry Blackwood was a babyface when I got to go there and work. And then of course Frank Brody came in. He tagged up with John Nord and stuff, And
Right.
got to work a lot with Kurt Hennig, who was just a phenomenal. Got to work with his dad. What a legend Larry Hennig was up there.
Do you have any? Do you have any Kurt Hennig rib stories? He's a famous ribber. Do you have any?
Oh, he was. Yeah, Kurt was always ribbing, doing something and stuff and everything. So yeah, he'd always say something in the ring. So mess with you, trying to make you laugh and stuff like that. I said, Kurt, I said, it's okay for heels to laugh. I said, you babies that can't laugh, he was funny, and of course, very young Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, the Rockers. Man, good grief, what a night off them boys were.
Seriously,
and I knew they was going to take off too.
That's what I was going to ask. Could you see it then that they were going to be?
Yeah, but I had a good program with Martel and stuff, and of course, when I first went in there, I got managed by the great Chris Markoff. Chris Markoff was my manager, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of fun with Chris too. He had a lot of experience and stuff, So yeah.
That's awesome.
So this is I'm enjoying all the questions I've asked you so far, but this is probably the question I've been waiting for. This for however long we've been trying to make this interview happen.
Action figure.
But so in '86, Remco comes around, toy company. And you have AWA Remco figures, and you get the regular figure, and you get even that mini masher, the little one. What are your memories of any of those figures or anything around that line coming out and everything?
Well, that was just the neatest thing in the world and stuff, and I'd be able to get a figure like that and stuff, So, man, I was very, very blessed and very honored to have that opportunity and stuff, and. So I was very, very, very proud, happy to get that. And what was neat about it was, I know it was mine and probably a lot of different others too. Only got sold in a certain part of the country, and then they got discontinued. So the wealth on them just skyrocketed and stuff.
Oh, no doubt.
Yours is one of the. Yours is one of what they call the holy grails of those that Remco line. That I'm always checking eBay or something to always try to put my hand on one, but they're not they're not very easy to come by, and they're not
because they only sold so many of them, and they only sold them in a certain part of the country, from what somebody told me. Because with me and John Nord and Adnan too,
Yeah. Right. Those are the three. Or three.
Those are the big three. Yeah, I know the Rockers are a little bit like Sean and Marty are a little bit rare, but I don't think they're as rare as those other three.
Right.
It's
because I know Zabisco got a deal, and then Summers and Rose got one, and
Freebirds,
Road Warriors,
Freebirds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were big fans of that toy line. I'll be honest. It was not as expensive as the big rubber LJN WWF figures, and it was a lot of the guys that we loved because we watched all wrestling, right?
We saw AWA just as much as maybe more than we did WWF at the time. So it was really cool to see those figures and everything. Also, you got a new figure coming out, right? Sometime. With Epic Toys. It's kind of that what they call the Hasbro style is what they call it.
Right. Yeah, it's out of the UK.
Yeah.
It's a very cool figure. It looks awesome. Is that out now?
It's got I think the flag or the flagpole's removable, and you can take the hat's removable on it. It's pretty neat. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Is it already out, or is it yet to come out?
It's already out. I've seen it on online. In fact, I went up to New York a short while back and stuff, and
with my buddy Nick I got from Captain's Corner, right?
And I got to sign a bunch of them up there. They had some. I got to sign my autograph on them. So
I love Nick. Captain's Corner is a great guy. I'm so happy that you work with him, Boris. He's a good dude. One of the honorable ones, man. He does a good job.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I had a good time. Yeah, because we went to a place in Queens and stuff, and which was fun. I loved getting to go to Queens because that's where they shoot a lot of Law and Order SVU up there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So
okay.
I got to see some of them places and go to one of the places, that serves a great Italian spaghetti. I was, oh man, because Nikolai knew all them places, and we'd go to New York and Boston and get the best genuine Italian food and Chinese and all that stuff, So just phenomenal people, the great fans up there.
No
So
doubt.
I was fun getting to go do that. So
No doubt. Nick
great.
takes care of his people for sure. We're happy to be in partnership with Nick. He's a great guy. So
absolutely, yeah, one of the best. So yeah, yes,
All right,
sir.
Boris. In September of 1986, you worked for Carlos Colon. You did the 13th anniversary shows. Was that the first time you got to work Puerto Rico?
Yeah. Vern got me hooked up. Sent me and some of the other guys over there. I went over there. I worked with Barry Windham. I got to work with Barry Windham when he was there, and I worked with my first night there. I got to work with Carlos, so I got to work with him too. So
man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how was it working those big, like I said, the big anniversary shows? Was that because I know those crowds? I've seen them on tape, man. Those crowds were huge for those anniversary shows.
Yeah, they were a huge crowd, just rough, Craig, because they always threw stuff. You had to look out and protect yourself, and had to watch your back and all that stuff, especially the heels. So, yeah, that was a rough place because you never knew where something was going to come from, Yeah, seriously. So you had to really be careful over there.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick with 1986. You mentioned working with John Nord the Barbarian. You got any good stories? Because he's actually Jimmy's actually interviewed him before, and he just seems like he would be a blast to be around.
Oh yeah. He was a lot of fun and stuff, and everything. And it was funny though. That was the last guy anybody wanted to rib because.
Right.
John would get even with you more so than he'd get you worse than you got him. So you wanted to mess with him, because Shawn Michaels made that mistake, and Jannetty and Kurt Hennig too, So, oh golly, Ned. Yeah, he'd get Kurt back in the ring. He'd chop the daylights out of him, and John said, "Well, you hadn't mess with me. I wouldn't hit you so hard,
Yeah.
I'm over in the corner with my face down, and my hand laughing and stuff.
Yeah.
So, good grief. I mean, man, he pop him in the chest and stuff. And I said, good grief, man. You could see the sweat come off of Kurt. He hit him so hard, Wow.
And they were young friends. They were friends in high school, Kurt and
Oh,
John.
yeah.
So they were extra stiff.
That was always a challenge when them two guys got in the ring with each other. So, yeah. Who could push the other one the farthest,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, in '87, I remember this when because I was watching a lot of AWA on ESPN at this time. They were putting you with a lot of partners. It seemed like you was in and out of partners, and then finally they put Sold Out Usanov with you. Whose idea was to put y'all together as a full-time tag team?
Well, I think it was both Greg and Vern decided they wanted to do a Russian tag team and everything, So tagged us up, and of course, Adnan was going to be our manager, so Adnan thought it was a great idea too, So that worked out good and stuff, And Jim was a good worker and good experience. Big Minnesota boy up there, like the Road Warriors. So so we got to work with Mike and Joe, So in fact, we go over the East Coast and work with the Road Warriors and stuff and everything, and then we worked with Sean and Marty and all that, So it was that was a lot of fun. Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall, big tag team up there.
Yeah.
So in May of that year, they put the AWA tag belts on y'all, and y'all started a program with Wahoo and DJ Peterson.
Peterson, yeah.
So how did you enjoy getting back in the ring with Wahoo?
Oh yeah, because I'd worked with him as heel some in when he was in Charlotte and stuff and everything, you know. And he was one of my favorite, you know, when I was growing up, because Wahoo liked it tough, you know. Man, he was a snug, tough, and he threw them chops and stuff, and man, I was a kid growing up. I just loved watching him and Johnny Valentine go at it. I mean, they were. You can still find them matches on YouTube, and they're freaking brutal. Him and Greg too. Some great snug matches, and that's the way Wahoo liked it and stuff. And boy, I hit him, and he hit me back too. So he hit me so hard the chops and knocked the wind out of you.
Wow, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Nobody doubted wrestling when Wahoo hit you.
I bet. Anyone who ever said the F word needs to go in the ring with Wahoo.
Right, yeah. Good grief, yeah. It was like Johnny Valentine says. He says, you may not believe in wrestling, but you'll believe in me, you know.
Right.
So Wahoo's partner, DJ Peterson, he really got a big push there in AWA and then down in Central States.
Right, Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's like they said he was going to be the next big thing. And I think, didn't he like die in a car wreck or motorcycle wreck or something like that?
He ended up sadly ended up being in a bad motorcycle wreck. That's what killed him.
Yeah.
And he was a great worker too. I mean, he looked good. He was in phenomenal shape and stuff. And DJ could go. I mean, you could do all kinds of great spots with him and stuff. He was just had great timing, and he was a great baby face. The girls loved him and stuff and everything. So that was really a shame, because I really thought Vince missed the mark not bringing him to WWE up there, or WWF at the time. So
yeah. He's almost one of those what ifs like Magnum, you know. Well, he is a what if.
Yeah, right. You know? Yeah. He was another Magnum TA and stuff, you know. And I mean, if goodness, who knows where Magnum would have gone if he hadn't got hurt so bad in that car wreck, you know.
For sure.
And I was in the building with him down there in. I'll tell you a story. When I was working with him down there in Louisiana and Mississippi and all that and stuff, you know, because his home territory was Charlotte too.
Yeah.
Because Magnum's from Virginia Beach over that way.
Right.
So, yeah. And I remember calling and talking to Gene Anderson. Gene, I said, man, you need to take a look at this kid down here. Magnum T. Yeah, I know. I'm hearing about it from Dusty up here and stuff. I said, well, Gene, I know. I said, you need to agree with him now and stuff. I said, it'd be a great baby face to bring in up there and stuff, you know. So try to get into Gene's. Gene was hard to deal with sometimes, but he knew Magnum was a good baby face, and they finally got him in up there, you know. So
yeah.
CHW is continuing the legacy of historic professional wrestling in Tennessee with monthly events at the Armory in Ashland City. CHW owner Mike Green has made it his mission to present the best pro wrestling shows in the Nashville area, and he has been delivering the goods. CHW Wrestling combines all the elements that Tennessee wrestling fans have come to expect. Action, suspense, athleticism, reality, stories, surprises, and excitement, all delivered by the finest professional wrestlers this state has to offer. Follow CHW Pro Wrestling on Facebook for the latest news, announcements, and show dates. And subscribe to Championship Productions on YouTube to see past events like the Ashland City Rumble and the Valentine's Massacre. Fun for the whole family with delicious and affordable concessions on site. Witness the action and excitement of CHW in Ashland City at the Armory. Family Wars, Love and Hate, Championship Gold, A CHW event is everything you're looking for in a night of live entertainment.
Well, back to you, Boris. So in October 5th of 87, you debut with the WWF. Now right. I know a lot of the guys left AWA in kind of bad terms. Now, did you leave without giving a notice as well, or did you actually give a notice? And did you also leave with the belt, maybe?
No. That was with the, I was still a tag team champion with, sold out when I was in the AWA, but the terms I had to go work for Vince and stuff, this is stuff he started pulling and stuff, when he was taking guys from territories, is he didn't want me to be part of a tag team that lost the titles on TV.
Gotcha.
Or lost the tag belts. So I had to leave without us dropping the belts and stuff, because that's the only way I was going to get a spot up there. And I saw that happening. I saw what Vince was doing, and that's the way it went. If you wanted to go work for him, he started calling the shots, and because he was already on the move on taking everything over anyway.
Right.
So whatever Vince said, you better go along with it, or you weren't going to be working. That's just the way it was. I learned from the older guys and stuff. He says sometimes if you want to work, you're going to have to do certain things and stuff, as long as it's something that you can live with and deal with and stuff. And I knew if I wanted to work and keep going, I had to do what he said. And so I left without dropping the belts.
Yeah.
So because they didn't know I was leaving when I was. And I was supposed to go on to a show, Wisconsin or something somewhere, and I had instead I flew to Dallas and did a show there in Dallas, Texas, on a Saturday night. So yeah,
and we've had Greg on the show before, and he seems to be a bit unforgiving on that stuff. Did you have heat with those guys after that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure I did and stuff and everything, and that was totally understandable. But that's what ended up coming down the pike. I mean, he was just walking all over everybody. Right. And I saw the writing on the wall. I said, Vince is he's going to end up owning this whole thing, because saw what happened with the Briscoes there in Georgia when they sold the territory to Vince.
Yep.
And I said, he's not messing around.
Right. Right.
And the writing was on the wall. And if I had not gone when he told me and gone the way he asked me to come in, I'd have never had a shot in that territory.
That makes sense. I mean, you had to do what you had to do, So.
I had to do what sadly, and that's what happened, because before we knew it, all the territories were disappearing, and Vince had everything, because he had all the TVs. He brought out all the TVs and stuff and everything, and as the TVs went, so did the territories.
Right.
You didn't have places for guys to go work. I got to start in the business when all that was still thriving. And when I got started, man, it was like 30, 40 different territories you could go work in when I got started. And he brought up all the TV time across the country, and all that stuff went away, and it went away quick.
Yeah. Well, when you first got there, okay, did you like the idea of you and Nikolai being put together? I'm sure you did.
Oh, yeah, because I knew Nikolai. Golly, I met Nikolai when I first went to when I was in Atlanta. I got sent down to Florida to do some TV. That was great back then, because they'd send you to NWA, they'd send you to different territories. I'd go down sometimes during the week and do spot shows in Florida and do TV for Dusty down there. I worked with, I worked with Nikolai. I think I worked some with Lars Anderson. I might have worked with Don Morocco, I think, one time. Maybe Jack Briscoe. And, and then spot shows while I was down there, and then drive back up to Atlanta. That was neat how they did that, because they'd bring guys up from Florida and put them on TBS, for the weekend and everything.
Yeah.
So, so I knew Nikolai from back then. Of course, I was with Nikolai when he came into territory for the Crockett's, him and Chris Markoff. That's when I met Chris. And Lord Alfred Hayes, I met him then. He was their manager. And, man, they were a blast. We had a lot of fun on the road with each other. So I got to know Nikolai back then and stuff, And then when I was leaving Mid-South to go to we're going over to Texas. Now Nikolai was coming in, so I had a little run-in with Nikolai down there because I failed in my Soviet mission to get rid of JYD and stuff, so I had a big falling out with Nikolai down there in Mid-South before I went to Texas and stuff, Yeah. So I'd known, I had known Nikolai my whole career in the business, So we got along good and stuff. And man, that was just, and he was just over. Him and Sheik had so much heat. Man, that was just that was a gift that I was given there. I didn't have to do anything except go in and fly and take bumps. I mean, the heat to him and Nick, they had established all the heat, and it was so scary, man. I mean, Nikolai showed me real quick. He says, Boris, we got to watch our backs. He says, and I found out real quick, everywhere we went, man, it was, because even at that time, people thought it was still real. And they hated the Soviet Union terribly. And it was that was a different day that a lot of the guys that came along after us, they never had to worry about heat like that.
No doubt. Yeah, that heat is over.
Yeah, because you go to places like Philly and Boston, that was like Puerto Rico.
Right.
You'd be hitting back there, you'd have to duck your head. There's no telling what they'd be throwing at you, and they hated that Russian flag. Oh, good grief. Man, oh man. Yeah. God, I said, man, we got a ton of heat, and we got beat, and we're telling them that they cheated and cheated on us, and there's no way that they beat us. They didn't beat us fair and square. We got cheated and stuff, and they still wanted to kill us. I said, my gosh, if we'd gone over, I don't know what. He goes, boy, does it been worse heat.
Well, in the first 3 months of y'all there, you went back and forth with the Bulldogs, the Young Stallions.
Oh, yeah.
So what are some memories of those matches?
Oh, this great. The Bulldogs, Dynamite and Davey Boy and stuff, and got his Killer Bees and the Rougeau brothers. I mean, Martel and Santana, Strike Force, and Powers and Roma. So man, it was a heck of a tag team there. A lot of great tag teams.
I know.
And that was a lot of fun. Yeah. I'll never forget one time we was with the Bulldogs and stuff, and we had double shots. I was on a weekend, and we was working with the Bulldogs twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. And Matilda was okay as long as you're in the back dressing room with her. She was okay. Now once you got in the ring, she'd shoot on you.
Oh wow!
She'd come after you. If you didn't get away from her, she'd eat you up. She wanted to look. She wanted to look good. She wanted to get over. And, but we'd pat her in the back and give her water and all that. And then one Sunday, I gave her too much water. Oh. And she got out to the ring. She squatted in the middle of the ring and peed. And the crowd just went bananas. And then we did a couple spots, and David Boy scooped me up in the power stuff. And he said, hey, Boris, listen to the people here. I'm dying and stuff, and he body slams him right where Matilda peed, and the crowd went berserk. But both me and David Boy were laughing so hard we couldn't. Well, we called it hard to get back to what we was doing,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They just popped big time on that one. So
yeah. Oh man.
If you didn't get away from Matilda, man, she'd eat you up.
Yeah.
She was quick too. Yeah,
once she got a taste of Russian.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was shooting on you big time.
She's going to get her shine. It doesn't matter, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, golly, poor old Slick got caught topping over one time. I think it was back. He was still managing him and Sheik, Nikolai and Sheik, and he got tied up in the ropes trying to get away from Matilda. I think he ended up falling out of the ring, breaking his arm. So,
oh my gosh!
Trying to get away from her. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She didn't mess around.
Yeah, no doubt. So around the time you came in, just a month before that, this is huge for me and Jared, and this is actually one of the reasons I wanted you on this show, Boris, because I've been dying to ask you this question, and when I had you with Wolfie, I didn't get to it, so now I do. So September of '87, just before you come in, the WWF releases the WWF album 2, pile driver.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And the cool thing is in the video of the If You Only Knew song, and no, you were not probably in the song when it was recorded, but you're part of the video. Talk about that time in that video.
Oh yeah, that was neat. Yeah. Well, I had to learn the song and stuff. You'd play it and learn the words to it, and then sing along with it and all that stuff. They had us do all that. So yeah, that was pretty neat. Yeah, that was that was a neat deal and a neat time and stuff when that one came out. So yeah, because I was coming out just as I was coming into territory back then.
So you were not on the recording singing. You're not in that.
No.
But you were there.
No,
for the video.
I was just in that video they did.
Yeah, and you're doing the little dancing. You can move, man. I mean, everybody was moving in time, but it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's they had all that choreographed, and they had people showing us what to do and when to do it and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We got to that one WrestleMania. We got to do that thing with Steve Allen. That was a lot of fun too. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, so like during that video shoot, what was that like? Was that a separate day that y'all were on the road, or where do you remember much about the video?
Yeah. I think a separate day was on the road. It might have been somewhere where they was doing TV at. They just did the video at the same time because they had all the TV stuff there.
Okay.
So
okay.
Gotcha. I was doing it because that's when everybody got together. From the whole territory, everybody be around each other on the days they did they filmed TV. So
okay. That makes sense. I just love that song. I love that whole
we loved that song back in the day so much.
Yeah, we had Coco Beware on, made him sing the song. I mean, I love that album, and it was just such a fun thing. And then that if people rib on that song, Boris, they do, but I love that.
I love that song.
Oh yeah. And I love that one Slick did too. The Slick did a good one.
Oh yeah, great song. Yeah, I mean, there's some the Demolition song. Here comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. That.
Oh yeah. They had some good songs on there.
Mean Gene singing "Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo." My goodness.
yeah, classic.
Now, would they have given you a free copy of that? Like, did you get a version of that on vinyl, or would you have to buy it, or something like that?
I'm trying to remember. I might have gotten a cassette back then.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I got a cassette of it. So
okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
That was a promotional cassette I got from the people that put it out because it wasn't the kind they sold in the stores. They had for promotional use only on it.
Yeah, those are worth more, man. So hang on to that if you still got it.
Oh yeah, I do. I sure do.
Good.
So early '88, you talked about earlier. You worked with the Killer Bee. So you have any stories about?
Oh yeah.
About working them?
Oh yeah. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzel. Yeah, because I both worked with them, and I'd worked with them in different territories. Jim in I think Atlanta and a couple other places, and Brian Blair too, because both of them just great workers, man. Just a lot of fun and Brian was a great wrestler too, amateur and stuff and everything. We did. I love doing different wrestling stuff with both them guys. So yeah, because they were very well in tune with each other and just very smooth and just great wrestlers. So. Yeah, and Jim did, man, what a drop kick he'd do. Good grief, man. He'd get up there. Thing. I mean, every time, I knew exactly where he was going when I was coming off the road. He put his feet in the same spot every time. I'm like, good grief, Jim. it's just phenomenal how it's just a natural he was at doing drop kicks, because he'd get up so high.
Too. He's very underrated,
Yeah. So.
And then not long after that, you all started, you worked the Powers of Pain some, Barbarian.
Oh, yeah. Powers of Pain, and, like I said, Young Stallions. And I loved working with Jock and Raymond, too, because I knew Jock. I was working with Jock Ruggio down in Pensacola back in the day. Oh, so I got to work with he was a babyface down there, big babyface, and got to work tag matches with him and Robert Fuller and stuff, and single matches and all that. So me and Jock had gone back a few years, so that was neat getting to work with and then getting to meet his brother because I never got to meet Raymond until I got to WWF. So they were a lot of fun to work with too. So you know, so
how can you, like I mentioned the Powers of Pain? How do you compare like working with them versus working with the Road Warriors, because they were so like linked in their looks, their size, and everything like that?
And they were both solid workers, and both of them strong as the bulls. They knew when they picked you up, they was going to put you safely where you needed to go, you know, so you weren't going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So,
right. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, Barb had been around a long time at that point, you know, Barb had, but you know, I know that Warlord was a little bit younger. But
and he could do that dive off that top rope. I mean, because good grief, Warlord put me way out on the other side of the ring and stuff, and man, he'd Barbarian would come and he'd be right there, right on cue, you know, right on that spot, and he could really fly, you know. I mean, them Samoans could do that. It's like snooker, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, seriously, bloodline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've always heard Barbarian was like the nicest guy in the world, and it'd be just comes to be. But I think there's a story about if he got drinking a little bit, he was like just like an animal. Like it just you could not, nobody could hardly do anything with him. Yeah, and Snooker too. I mean, I loved working with Jimmy Snooker and stuff, because he was so he was another guy who was just so natural and in great shape, and man, he like I said, he could put you anywhere in that ring and hit you with that Superfly, and man, there's you'd feel it a little bit, but I mean, somebody does a move like that and stuff, that's something you're gonna feel. But Jimmy was spot on every time he did it. So
yeah, because he's coming down pretty good, and he's also not a light guy. He's so muscular.
No, he's pretty heavy. He was about 250, you know, and he was in very good shape. So I tell you, when I was working with the Charlotte territory and stuff, shoot, he worked. I was trying to remember who he's working with there. Steamboat. He was working with Steamboat, and he was a heel, and he set Ricky up to do that stuff. It was a cage match, and Jimmy got on top. Jimmy got on top of the cage and dove off the top of the cage, and Steamboat moved at the last minute. I mean, he was already well obligated, and then and when he hit. Ricky was still down, and Snooker hit the ring, and he didn't move, and Steamboat wasn't hardly getting up either and stuff, and they carried Jimmy out of the ring, and the people in Richmond were standing up in awe. I mean, they thought he was dead, because he wasn't moving. He hit that ring and just laid there, and you could hear the people. You know, just gasping and stuff. So that was a phenomenal scene to see back in then. That's when it meant something, when he did something like that. So because he hit that ring with such force, and he didn't move after he hit the ring, because Ricky rolled out of the way. So and they carried Jimmy out on a stretcher, and the place was just the people were standing and just in awe about what they saw. So,
yeah. You know, I see there next after Powers of Pain, you kind of worked with the Bushwhackers some. Tell us about those guys. Because I knew them too from Charlotte. They was the sheepherders in Charlotte. Yeah. So they were heels. So I got to learn and work with them and stuff and everything. And they were hilarious. Oh, good grief. Yeah, you know. But me and Nikolai would rib them all the time, because me and Nikolai would go out, and Nikolai was a chef. He liked to cook in the room, you know. Yeah. We'd get steaks and cook up with onions and garlic and all that stuff.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
And we drove them nuts with the garlic, you know.
Oh, I bet.
And get a bush and they go, "Oh garlic, hey, smell the garlic, mate! You're killing me! You know? And we're laughing so hard.
What a change from the sheepherders to the Bushwhackers too. You know, we could talk a whole show about that. The blood and guts. The cartoons.
But they were good heels too. When they were heel tag team, they was good, because they did that in Pensacola too, a territory down there. Yeah. So sure did. Yeah.
Them and the Fabulous Ones in Memphis basically killed each other every night. So you know.
You know. Yeah. Them guys were hilarious. I just loved working with them guys. So
Yeah.
It was hard to keep a straight face with them too and stuff. But yeah, we were good. Nikolai said, "Watch these boys," and you get Butch down, and he'd be breathing on him. And we'd been eating that garlic all day, and Butch is going nuts. "Garlic, man, you're killing me. The garlic, you're choking me. I can't breathe, man. I can't breathe."
Oh god,
that's a good finisher.
If people only knew, if people only knew.
I'm gonna go watch some matches and see if I can find it.
So after working those guys, you do a little bit of you're working singles matches a lot after that. Was Nikolai was gone for a little while? Do you remember why he was gone?
Well, I think he was in some other town somewhere or something, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. But they wanted to put me in some singles and all that and stuff and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you talked about Sean and Marty earlier in the AWA. How were they? Could you see a big growth when they were in the WWF now working them when you got a chance to?
Oh yeah, because them guys just got better and better too. So yeah, they turned into a great tag team. With fans. They were very easy to get heat on, and they had both of them had great comeback and all that stuff. And great response from the crowds and stuff. So yeah. And same with golly, Ned Neidhart, Bret Hart, and Jim Neidhart. Good grief, man! They were Hart Foundation, man, unbelievable. So
seriously,
I loved working with them. We loved working with them guys.
Oh man, I love the Hart Foundation. They were just such a cool combo because a lot of times you would see two guys together, kind of like Rock and Roll or the Rockers, but in that case it was kind of like a power guy and a technical guy, and
a technical wrestler.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, because Brett was he was a great wrestler. So,
Yeah.
All right, on the April TV on the tapings, they started teasing the breakup with you and Nikolai on the TVs y'all taped. Then on the actual April 24th, 1990 TV, the breakup happens. So when they come to y'all with that idea of splitting up the team, did y'all like the idea of splitting up the team?
Well, that's pretty much the thing to do because, see, at the time, that's when the thing went down between the United States and the Soviet Union with Gorbachev and Reagan, when Reagan told Gorbachev to tear the wall down. So Vince always went along with the world events and stuff, and he thought that was something that we had to capitalize on. So and Nikolai had been there so long and stuff, and so established they wanted to turn Nikolai babyface. So I had to break up in a big falling out between us in the ring, losing to the Hart Foundation and stuff and everything. And then I jump on Nikolai and try to take him out, and then they turn him babyface. So,
and then you had to deal with the garlic breath.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I did it too. See, I ate garlic too, so
there you go.
It wasn't so bad and stuff. Yeah,
I love that. A proper Russian heel.
I got to tell you though, we got paid back too because I didn't. As long as you have garlic and stuff, the other don't bother you. And somebody has garlic and somebody else hasn't had it, it's brutal.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Butch and Luke had to start eating garlic to protect themselves.
All right, Boris. On May 14th, 1990 TV, y'all had y'all's first match against each other. Do you remember anything about the match, how it went and everything?
No, not really and stuff. I just know we wanted to have a good solid match and everything, because Nikolai liked to work solid and all that, so but
okay, so it was crazy seeing him as a baby face.
It was definitely fun and stuff. I know later on somewhere, I think it might have been a spot show somewhere, they tagged I can't remember who I tagged with against him and Hacksaw. They teamed him and Hacksaw because Hacksaw, would carried around the American flag too, So it was natural to tag them guys up. I wish they would have got me in a program where I could have had got me another regular partner and worked with him and him and Hacksaw, you know.
Man, if they could have gotten Nikita or something during that time.
Yeah, Nikolai and Hacksaw would have been a great tag. Been a great tag team.
Definitely,
so,
the Russian, the eagle and the bear.
Nikolai started singing the Star Spangled Banner. You know.
Yeah.
So that got over like great because he switched from all them years of singing the Soviet national anthem to Star Spangled Banner, and that just popped the crowd like crazy. So,
yeah.
Didn't he have a ring jacket? Didn't his ring jacket have the Russian flag and the American flag together on it, on his ring jacket?
It did. I remember that.
Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, it sure did. Yeah, he fixed it up like that. He sure did. Yeah,
That's awesome.
He sure did. Yeah, because he'd carry the American flag, and then Hacksaw would have it. So to me, that was a natural tag team right there. Was them two guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, they did. They sure did. Yeah.
So y'all worked that whole summer, you and Nikolai, and the program, the blow off was on August 15th, 1990. They had a special primetime wrestling SummerSlam Fever TV show.
Right.
So was there any talk about actually putting y'all on SummerSlam, or just or having the blow off just on the free show to help help promote SummerSlam, to actually put this, because y'all ran this the whole summer, and so the blow off, instead of having a SummerSlam, to have it on this to get some eyes on it. Do you think, was there any ever talk of actually though putting y'all on SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think they mentioned it, and then they changed it because they had so many different type matches they were putting together, because all those pay-per-views like that all that's timed, from beginning to end and stuff. So whatever you put together and stuff, you got to time it out precise. So if you overbook or you have too much, you can get in trouble real quick. That's what happened in WrestleMania because originally when Nikolai and I worked with when I turned heel on Nikolai against the Hart Foundation, we were supposed to go on 6-7 minutes, and that was with going out to the ring on the cart and all that stuff, that time. But they needed all the time at the end for Warrior and Hulk, so they added the time to their match, so they'd have plenty of time to do their thing, and we got cut down to what the short match we did, So that all changed right. That happened right in the middle of the show. Because originally we was told we was going to be going the whole thing to and from the riding out and then riding back, because all that's timed. Riding back on the cart even after the match and all that. It was supposed to have been like 6-7 minutes, and then we got cut down almost 2.
And I'm not asking specifics on this, but does that cause your pay to go down when that happens?
No, you get paid the same. Yeah, wherever you are on the card. Yeah, it don't matter how long you're out there in the ring. Wherever they have you on the card, you're going to get paid regardless. So. Well,
yeah, and again, I'm not asking specifics, but I bet that WrestleMania payday was pretty awesome, I would guess. But.
Yeah, it was a real good payday, and the big thing is where you're at on the card and everything. So, if we'd because like I said, we had they had the time, all that stuff, riding all across the field on that cart, out to the ring, the introductions, doing the match, and then the ride back. All that time counts against your match there. Yeah. So originally, all that was supposed to have been 6-7 minutes, and they cut that whole thing down to 2. If we'd have done 6 or 7, I'd have got paid the same.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so after that program with Nikolai was over, you did pretty much stay single. And I know you said that you would have loved to have been teamed in with somebody else. I think if they could have found out a way to get Nikita up there, wow, that could have been incredible. But anyway, we'll talk about that what if another day. But
right. Yeah, that would have been phenomenal for sure. Yeah, get revenge,
Yeah, on the one guy that never wrestled there, so that would have been cool.
Right. Yeah. He never got a chance to go there either. So,
Yeah. So your last WWF match that's listed was at a house show on February 11th of 91 against the Texas Tornado in Dallas, Texas. So obviously, if you're kind of going a full circle there, you're coming back home in a way to Texas when you worked with the Von Erichs back then. So it's kind of cool that you got to do that. But do you remember, any memories of that match?
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, well, I tell you what was great about that match and stuff and everything was, and golly, working with Kerry that night, man, he was spot on, everything. I mean, he was beautiful. Yeah. Cause I was kind of nervous, because, sometimes he could get a little flighty, and, you didn't know what he was going to do, but man, his timing and everything, I guess being home there in Texas and with his family there, I mean, he was spot on. I mean, I couldn't have had an easier match. And a better match. That was one of my better matches I had with Kerry, because I'd worked with him before there in the WWF, and he was just phenomenal that night. But I tell you what was the dream for me is that night, Greg Valentine was on the show. Well, his dad was there. Oh, so I got to meet the great Johnny Valentine.
First time
he was there. He was there in our dressing room. So I got some good compliments from Johnny Valentine, and man, that just put me on cloud nine.
No doubt. Wow,
he goes,
that's awesome.
You looked good and snug out there. That's the way you're supposed to be. Lay them in, be stiff. If they can't take it, they can go home. Good, man. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that, sir.
You're good at impersonations. That's a theme we've got going here lately.
I love Johnny. Through my career, get to watch him. And I hated what happened. When he got hurt in that plane crash and had to stop because he was a phenomenal performer. I mean, it's so believable. And then I got to meet him and then getting those good compliments from him. And then Greg came behind us. Yeah, you've got to be thankful you never had to work with him. He is stiff. He's real stiff. I said, thanks, Greg. So Greg put me over too. So
that's funny.
Oh yeah, because sure, he'd come after we'd come after each other in battle royals and stuff. Me and Greg would. Yeah. He'd always try to come up and give me a one of those hammers when I wasn't looking, and then he'd laugh and take off.
What ended up making? Why did you leave the WWF? What ended up you leaving? What happened there?
Well, just finishing up there and stuff, and I guess Vince didn't have anything else planned. Because everything changed with the Russian gimmick. With the Soviet Union falling. Yeah, that and he was going along with the world events, and all that was changing. So after that, anywhere I went and worked, I just had to be anti-United States and still be pro-Soviet Union everywhere. But Vince didn't see no reason to keep that going,
Did he by chance say anything to you, maybe like, hey, go somewhere, we'll repackage you and bring you back? Did they just see you as the Russian and that was it? Or what do you think?
He just saw me at the Russian, but I did have shows come up a few weeks after, down the road and stuff. I got to go around and worked a lot with Hacksaw Duggan because Macho Man got hurt.
Okay.
And wasn't able to work, and so they brought me back in to work with Duggan and stuff and everything, and that was just great because all them shows, those were matches he was set up to work with Macho Man anyway, and good houses, and I got good payoffs on it and stuff like that. Plus Vince got me a nice tour to Japan, and got me overseas to England and all that stuff. So he took care of me that way and stuff. But yeah, it was hard leaving, but man, it ended up being a blessing because I ended up being hurt, didn't realize it. At the time. Okay. Yeah, I ended up having injury and stuff because, like I say, when you're working hard like that, over 300 some nights a year and taking a lot of bumps and stuff and everything, and then I was lifting a lot too and stuff. I ended up getting because it started with me when I was wrestling and stuff. That last year or so, I ended up getting a hernia, and it ended up getting worse, and I ended up having to get serious surgery a few years down the road after that. So it was a blessing that I left there on it because, man, I was hurting.
No doubt.
All the bumps and stuff and everything, it just starts catching up with you.
Yeah.
And, you know,
piling up, right?
I would have liked to have kept going and stuff. And, I know I would have given it my best and stuff, but, I was hurting and I think they knew I was hurt too.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
All right, April of 1991, you show up at Herb Abrams' UWF. Everybody, heard that. Everybody. There's all these, wild stories about Herb Abrams. Do you have any Herb Abrams stories about your time there?
No, I just know he was really nervous about Vince and stuff and everything. With the. I said, well, man, I was Boris Zhukov before I got to the WWF, So I was Boris Zhukov starting in Louisiana in '83, and then I kept, and went on from there. So that was his big worry and stuff and everything, and was tangling with Vince over the legal stuff because of my name and stuff and everything, But golly, he had the other guys too. I think Orndorff worked for him,
right?
And Brian Blair, and there was a few other guys that came in and worked for him.
Was Don Morocco there too? Morocco.
Captain Lou was there too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Captain Lou. But it was good shows, and I got paid. Motel, all the expenses paid, and I got the payoff I was supposed to get. So I was happy. He gave me what he said he would. So
yeah.
Can't complain about that. So
right. Yeah. It's important.
So I love this promotion. It was a short-lived promotion, but early 1983, you show up at Austin Idol's USA Wrestling. It was basically it was in the old Fuller territory.
In fact, it was the old TV station there in Dothan too. Plus, we went back to the farm center, Houston County Farm Center too. So
So, is there any? I know it was short lived, but was there any memories about working going back there and working for Austin Idol in that territory? Was there any memories that stuck out?
Well, I got to go back and work some with Austin again, and I got to be there with a great Khosrow. Sheik was there, and Dotted out about Sheik. So got to travel with him, and that was a lot of fun, being with Sheik again. So because we've been to because I first met him in Charlotte in 1980. So
yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Man, I got to get back in the ring. Well, Austin the battle royal man. They got the battle royal check there and cashed it from Fred Ward. So.
Yep, sure did.
He sure did. He went to the bank the next morning and cashed it and had packed everything up and headed to Pensacola.
See you later. Oh gosh.
That story will live on forever.
Yeah. Well, as we are getting to the close of this episode, first off, you started working on the indies in Virginia, Eclipso, Jimmy Valiant, Colonel Spud Wade, one of my best friends ever, Kenny Steele. You kind of came to the Virginia indies, and I loved it because I could see you wrestle constantly, and I was it was so surreal to be able to see you and get to see this really good wrestling. And you would go to these little gymnasiums and, 100, 150 people, 200, 300, whatever. But you would be seeing all these great wrestling matches. And it was you guys did this. And the thing I like about Eclipso is, and Kenny and all you guys out there, you have such a love of the territory, traditional days, old school,
Right.
You booked your shows
we
like
sure
that
did,
too, So
because everything that they were seeing on TV, they wasn't seeing none of that traditional anymore.
Exactly.
So it was okay to go back and do the traditional stuff because it was different, basically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Talk about Spud, man. Put Spud over. I love him. Great guy.
Oh, of course. Oh, Spud Way. Good gravy. Yeah, we had some good tough matches and stuff. Man, he was snug too and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of fun to work with and stuff, Colonel Spud Wade and stuff. And I was so happy finally, years later down the road, he finally turned babyface.
I know.
So I thought that was pretty cool. So,
I know.
But for me, it was neat because I was Boris Zhukov all that time. And then I got to bring everything full circle with Kenny and Calypso and turned babyface. Then I went back to Private Nelson. Then I became Sergeant Nelson.
Right.
So I brought my gimmick full circle.
I know. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. That was pretty neat. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very cool to see that. And I was like,
here because. I know when we had started training in Roanoke when I first broke into business and stuff, Rocky ended up having to move his boxing gym to down here in Franklin County in Rocky Mount. So when I finished up, doing that Boris Zhukov and then turning babyface and back to Private Nelson and Sergeant Nelson, all that was done back down here in Franklin County in Rocky Mount. So that was a big full circle, Because when I left Rocky Mount to go to Atlanta, that's when I started my career. I left Rocky Mount to go to Atlanta, So,
You're coming back, and it's turned right back to man. It was actually very well storytelling. That's what they call storytelling. They, keeping a gimmick going for that long, man. I love it.
Yeah. And we had a big show, shoot in Rocky Mount there. We brought in, we had Sandy Scott and Don Canotto and his brother Wally. Johnny Weaver came in, so that was a great night. Ric McCord was there. So yeah. I got a picture of us still that we took that night on my refrigerator. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know it's been many years since you've retired from the KGB, Boris, but what are you up to? What do you do today? What does Boris do today for a dollar?
Man, I am retired off the road because, like I said, I was over 30 years in the 32 years in the trucking business, and now I'm retired and stuff. I get the honor and pleasure of being in the Lord's house each and every Sunday and each every week because I never got to do all the years I was traveling. I do volunteer work with the food pantry up in Roanoke, helping get food donations for the needy up there and stuff. And then I help out with a church work group on Tuesdays and stuff, doing work around the Haleswood Baptist Church in Moneta, Virginia. So a lot of different things, but I try to stay busy as I can. But it's nice being off the road and stuff because starting out with wrestling like I did back in '78 and got more and more in '79 and stuff. When 2024 came around, I said, "That's it. I'm done."
Yeah.
So I was happy to get off the road. So
I bet.
That was like 46 years. So.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, you probably know every road around the world nowadays, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But my favorite territory was always Charlotte.
Oh
yeah. Where was my home territory.
Yeah.
So.
Well, come on down and see me sometime, Boris. I'll get you some dinner, man.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be at the, what's that thing they're going to have in Charlotte?
August.
The Gathering. It's going to be that's in August, I believe.
Yep, I'm going to do my best to be there. See you, man. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a long thing. It's like 4 days or something, I think. So I'm going to be down there on a Friday morning at 11 o'clock. I think is when I'm going to be there.
Okay.
So,
okay. Yeah. Those are huge, man. Those are huge. Very good. I love that there's I know because Greg Price ran his Mid-South Legends reunion for decades, or a decade at least, I know. And then now somebody else took it over, and then now they have The Gathering, which is just even bigger, man, so.
Right. Yeah, they got a ton of people coming in for that. So,
everybody.
And I'm hoping I get to see some of the old boys. Because, when I was up in New York here back in March, we was up there in New York. I was up there with Boogie. So that was great being with him, because we go back for years, So
yeah, I know.
I worked with him. I worked with him a lot in Mid Atlantic too.
Do you have a Boogie impersonation by chance?
Hey, brother, you know.
Love you, baby. Love you, baby.
Yeah, love you, baby. Love you, baby. Yeah. Yeah. But I'll tell you, him and Ivan Koloff had some great matches back in the day.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
Seriously.
Yeah, they had a heck of a run. So, yeah, that was one of the greatest runs I thought Charlotte had was Boogie Woogie Man and Ivan Koloff. So,
man, great matches. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of matches, Boris, we do have one final question, and we give that to the Plastic Sheik himself. Take it away, Sheik.
Oh,
all right, Boris. So you've the names you've been over in this podcast of who you worked with and the territories and companies you've worked with. It's just a who's who of wrestling, and I'm gonna ask you to narrow it down here. So this could be a tough question. If you had one match throughout your career, and you look at it and you say that was my favorite match I ever had, what would that match be?
My favorite match. Oh, good grief. It would have to be. It'd be before I turned babyface. Me and Don Canotto against Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood.
Wow. Yeah. That's a great one. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's when Jay. Me and Jay did that thing where Jay broke out of the Cobra Clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know if that match is still around. I think it's on video somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But that's when we did the gimmick and stuff, where he broke the Cobra Clutch, and I turned babyface right after that. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that match, they was just spot on and stuff. And but we worked with them too. That match, and then we worked the match with them up in Toronto, Canada, and stuff. And they were just so good. They were just so spot on and stuff. It was just wow, man. Just thinking about it, I pinch myself. So,
I would too. I don't blame you.
Yeah, but that was one of the best babyface tag teams I ever worked with. Was Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah,
the best.
What a team.
Yeah, they were just in harmony with each other the whole way. So.
Yeah, no doubt. What an incredible, that's another what if. What if they could have lasted? What if, I know Ricky had to do his thing. He was going to be a single star. It was going to happen. But, Jay Young, man, seriously. So, yeah. But
because I was watching Ricky when I was finishing up high school and stuff. Him and Flair they went an hour Broadway in the Roanoke Civic Center, and the people were standing at the end. The whole crowd was on their feet. And it was an unbelievable match. I said, good grief almighty. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Oh,
well, Boris, this has been incredible. Now, if the listeners out there knew how cool you've been through this whole process, Boris, because we've tried to get you a couple times, not your fault.
Right.
We've had some system issues, and if they knew how hard to get this interview done, but we've actually made it. We actually made it the whole way through.
Oh, yeah. We sure did, yeah. It was, it went without a flaw. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Boris.
Yes,
seriously.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's always great to go back and revisit all that stuff. The shoot, getting older and stuff, things slip your mind and stuff. It's easy to forget stuff when you don't go over and over. When you only do these once in a while and stuff, it's easy to forget stuff, names and places and spots and this and that,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why we have Quinton.
I bang my head a lot more than I wish I would have, but that was just part of that's just the way the business was, so.
Well, I mean, before you go, we can't let it not be said, you do have a pretty awesome head.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh,
what
yeah.
size hat do you wear by chance?
About a size 9.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. About a 9. Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
I think Hogan was a little bigger than mine, and Andre was definitely a lot bigger than mine.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. You still had some guys that had the bigger cowboy hat, but still it worked. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But that was my gimmick when I was growing up in school and stuff. I had to find that my body kept up to my head because I always had a large head growing up through school. So I got ribbed a lot about that,
Yeah.
So,
Well, when you were big, though,
because I see when I was in Charlotte. Yeah, when I was in Charlotte, Greg Valentine started calling me Buffalo Head. Buffalo Head. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, wow. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this, Boris. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It was an honor, Boris. Honored to get to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, same here, sir. Y'all have a good evening.
All right. You too. We'll see you next time. Okay, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. For the excellent Boris Zhukov, this has been Quinton Quarisma, the Plastic Sheik Jared Street, and myself. We'll be back to wrap things up on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Boudica and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com, and to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to USWApodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon Podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon Podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon Podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices, and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
All right, Sheik, one more excellent episode, and man, I am so happy about that one. Boris, interviewing him on the Wolfie Show and interviewing him, on our show, I say this, there's so many things I didn't get to ask him, and where, Quinton has incredible questions. Thank you, Quinton, for that. But man, when it comes down to it, it's just a cool thing to get to do, to talk to these legends. And Boris is just another one in a great line of incredible storytellers.
Yeah. I mean, Boris has so many stories, and, great recall with his stuff. And he was talking, about, all the great people he worked with in AWA and WWF with just ease, And I think he even mentioned, sometimes talking about it kind of jogs your memory a little bit about some of the people you've been in the ring with. So
yeah, absolutely. And I do think our show helps guys remember stuff like that sometimes. Sometimes maybe they don't remember all the details, but then we got our territory wrestling guru to come through with these details. And yeah, I think it helps close the gap on some of their, maybe possible, things they can't remember or didn't think of and, didn't plan on talking about. So either way, though, I'm stoked. I thought Boris was awesome. I appreciate everyone for listening. We do have an incredible next guest, but I'm not going to get into that yet because you got to follow us on @GMBMPW on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube. If you ain't following us by now, I think it might be personal. So we do appreciate you all that do follow us. But if you got it in your heart, click that subscribe, follow, whatever you like to see us on or follow us on. Just help us out. We greatly appreciate it. Do you have anything before we go, brother?
No, man, it was great to, do this one. I was looking forward to it for a while. We had talked about it, had those unfortunate circumstances that didn't let us. So I'm glad to get this one done and ready for the next one.
Absolutely. The cool thing is you and I, as of dropping of this episode, are about to get to see my son, your nephew, the apple of my eye, Cash Ross Street, graduate high school from Nolensville. So that's what we're doing right now while you're listening to this Boris episode. And we greatly appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But congratulations to my son, Cash. I'm proud of you, kiddo. Bright things in the future for you, buddy. Love you. Best son ever.
Proud of you, Cash.
All right. Well, hey, can't celebrate much more than that. So thank you all once again for listening. We'll see y'all next time on Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling.
Don't forget.
Volkoff, I cannot believe you want a chance at Zhukov in the ring one-on-one. With Volkoff, you need an attitude adjustment, and Zhukov is the one that will give it to you. Turn your back on your country. Turn your back on your comrade. That is treason, Volkoff. You know what they do to people that commit treason? They punish them. They punish them in ways I cannot see you on television. With Volkoff, I'm going to enjoy getting you in the ring. I'm going to enjoy hearing you scream in pain and beg for mercy. Because when it is all over, Volkoff, you will once again have to salute our Russian flag. You will once again have to sing our national anthem. Because you're going to pay what you did to Zhukov, what you did to Mother Russia. You're going to pay
with a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment in my life.
We'll see you later.
This has been a James Rock Street production.